Carl Zha,
Okay.
welcome back to our show. As I told you earlier, you're one of the most requested guests on our show, a Pakistani based geopolitical show, and you are the most requested person. How are you?
Thanks for inviting me again, Ali. I'm good.
Carl, this year, there's something about 2025. It's becoming the year of wars and plane crashes. Yesterday, day before yesterday, just another war broke out between Cambodia and Thailand. What do we have on this? What's the insight? What's the root cause of this?
Well, ostensibly, the root cause is a border dispute between Thailand and Cambodia. And this border dispute actually dates back a century to the beginning of the 20th century. So what happened is the main dispute revolved around couple Hindu temples. These Hindu temples are built back in the days of Khmer Empire, which is like 800,000 years ago. Um, Once upon a time, Khmer Empire covered much of Southeast Asia, both present-day Cambodia, present-day Thailand. So both countries, Thailand and Cambodia, they claim heritage from the ancient Khmer Empire. What happened was, as the Khmer Empire declined and Thailand became a powerful country, for a while Cambodia was actually a vassal state to Thailand. So there was not too much problem because this is like the traditional empires, right? And then the Europeans arrived. France, they carved out a colony called French Indochina, which included present-day Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia. And France set about to demarcate the border between Cambodia and Thailand. And because French was a very strong colonial power, Thailand was forced to make many territorial concessions, including gave up uh, Cambodia as a vassal states and gave up some territory to French Indochina. So in 1904, both sides came to agree that the border would be demarcated according to the so-called watershed principle. Um, and by this, the border will be delineated along a mountain range. Both sides agree, but the border was not finalized. They agree on the principle of settling the border according to the watershed principle. And then 4 years later, in 1908, French they they set upon actually measuring every part of the border, and they drew a map. On this map, they included the famous Hindu temple Preah Vihear in solidly in the Cambodian territory. Now, Thailand actually did notice for like a couple decades, and then when finally Thailand realized the issue, they tried to petition, have international court uh, to rule this, but they say, okay, sorry, Thailand, you took 20 years to bring this dispute into light. It's too late. For 20 years, you did not dispute French possession of this land. So then Thailand had to wait until 1954. So this is when French was defeated by the Vietnamese in the Battle of Dien Bien Phu. And as this peace settlement in Geneva in 1954, French troops pull out of the French Indochina from Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia. Then Thailand took this opportunity to move in to grab all the disputed territory. But then Cambodia took Thailand to court in 1962 to the International Court of Justice. And International Court of Justice initially ruled that the temple belongs to Cambodia because for Cambodia, this is their cultural heritage that dates all the way back to Khmer Empire. But the ICJ, they did not make a ruling on the land surrounding the temple. Now, what you have to understand is the geography of this area is the temple is sitting on top of a cliff, right? And from the Cambodian side, they cannot access the temple through the cliff. So the only way for them to access the temple has to go through the Thailand side. And this is why there's a dispute around the land around the temple. And then this in 2008, a conflict broke out when Cambodia applied for UNESCO heritage status for the site for this Hindu temple, and Thailand objected. Thailand said, "Okay, this should be a joint under joint guardianship of both Thailand and Cambodia." Then we both apply for this UNESCO heritage site, and that actually led to exchange of artillery fire back in 2008, and then there was another conflict in 2011. Same thing around the land. The dispute is about the land around the temple, and then in 2013, the International Court of Justice made another ruling. They told Thailand you have to give up the land around the temple should go to Cambodia. You need to remove your troops. Thailand disputed that, and this led to another fresh round of hostilities. Now, it has been more than 10 years now. This border dispute is flaring up again, but this time the timing is interesting because Thailand is under a coalition government that's kind of wobbly at the moment. And in May, when the conflict first broke out, the Thai prime minister made a call to the senior leader of Cambodia, Hun Sen, and the detail of their call was leaked. It was leaked, and it raised a huge firestorm in Thailand because in the call, the Thai prime minister, she calls Cambodian leader Hun Sen uncle. She called him uncle, and she said, this is all the fault of Thai military. It's a bunch of generals trying to provoke a fight. I'm sorry, I apologize. So this created a huge uproar in Thailand, and many are demanding the prime minister to step down. In fact, right now, her post has been suspended after the detail of the call was leaked, and now the court is going to pass a ruling whether she can stay on as a prime minister. So this is the background to the latest fresh round of hostilities, and there, now the dispute is actually expanding. There's several areas, not just around the temple we're talking about, but there are several other temples, and the temple sites are also in dispute. But the crux of the issue was when France delineated the border. They said, "Oh, okay, let's just divide the border along the watershed." These mountain range look like perfect natural border between these two countries. Now, this is exactly same that happened to when British demarcated the border between China and British India. But also around the same time in the early 20th century, a British British officer, Henry McMahon, he went to inspect the border on the Himalayan region, and he was horrified to discover that Tibet actually extended their administration to the southern slope of Himalayas. And for him, that's unacceptable because it's like, okay, we cannot defend this if we cannot push the border back to the crest of the Himalayan mountains. And because at that time, British was really seriously worried that Russia will come in through, grab Tibet and then through Tibet invade India. Because for the British India was their precious, they're their crown jewel, they're precious. Nobody can lay the hand on precious. And so the British unilaterally draw a line on the map that goes along the ridge of the mountain. So that's what became known as McMahon Lie, but Chinese government never agreed to that border, and that led to the Indian China border dispute today. So, but what was different in Thailand case? Thailand actually agreed to divide the border along the watershed principle, but France, few years later, they kind of reneged. They're like, whoa, okay, these other areas we need to mark it off. Sorry. I mean, I know what I said before, but we need to have these sides within the Cambodian border, right? And so this is another legacy of kind of the colonial border that was arbitrarily drawn, and this led to an issue when like modern nation states inherited these border disputes. And but I think something deeper is going on, obviously, because in Thailand, um, the current prime minister, she was being suspended, and her government is a coalition government that came to place as a kind of compromise because there was a big divide between the monarchist party and these like this new so-called young reformers, progressive, whatever the Western media call them, and the military just says, okay, we won't we will absolutely not work with the one who won election. So in the end, they came up with a compromise candidate who became the prime minister, who just recently got suspended because that leaked phone call, right? And it's really convoluted because has to do with domestic politics in Thailand side, but also on the Cambodian side too, because Cambodia also going through their leadership transition. Hun Sen has been the leader of Cambodia since like 1970s, since late 1970s, and he is now trying to pass down the torch to his son, right? And so the new government need to establish their credibility, and they appeal to Cambodian nationalism. And on the Thailand side, I think the Thai prime minister, honestly, I think she's been sabotaged. I think she's been sabotaged, but this is why I actually think the conflict won't be a long lasting one, because we saw this hostility outbreak before in 2008 and 2011, and that eventually subsided. Because these we're talking about like very small areas. Are not an existential issue for these two countries. This is more about national pride, about nationalism, about dispute over historical cultural heritage, and so these are very emotional issues for sure. Like the emotions are very high on both sides, but ultimately these are not like existential issue for either nations. So I expect the things will return back to normal in matter of weeks. This is my kind of crystal ball.
Okay. So, Carl, what caused the tip off now? What was the igniting, what caused the ignition in this part of the time?
Well, this border conflict actually flared back earlier this year, a couple months ago in May, and that time, the Thai prime minister tried to calm things down by calling Cambodian leader Hun Sen's like, "Hey, uncle, sorry, it's a misunderstanding." But you need to understand, her family actually have very close tie with the Cambodian leadership. Her dad was a former Thai prime minister who got ousted, and when her dad Tak Singh was ousted for corruption, was convicted, he went to exile. Guess where he went? He went to
Cambodia.
Cambodia, and he became an economic advisor to the Cambodian government. And so her family is very closely tied to, has very friendly tie with the Hun Sen's family. This is why she called him uncle,
Uncle.
right? Because it's a kind of expression among Asians. We call older folks who are our father's
Yeah,
generation
yeah, yeah.
uncles,
Same
and the
here.
fact that her father is Yeah, and the fact is, her father is actually friends with Hun Sen, right? And so that made sense, but it was a big scandal when
Mm-hmm.
the detail of their call got leaked out because people are calling her a traitor. How can you call the Cambodian leader an uncle when we're having a border dispute? And how can you blame our military? Blah blah blah. And so I think she is being actively undermined.
Mm-hmm.
And this has to do with Thai domestic politics.
Mm-hmm.
And on the Cambodian side, I think also like because there's a leadership transition from father to son, and the new leader in Cambodia must establish their credibility as a guardian of Cambodia's territorial integrity, national honor, etc., etc. But overall, I mean, Thailand and Cambodia really shouldn't be fighting a war. I mean, like that these two countries are both members of ASEAN. They have very they're culturally very similar
Mm-hmm.
countries, and they all quite devout Buddhist countries. There's really no reason they should be devoting resources to fight this war. So my hope is ASEAN will actually play a role to mediate, and hopefully China as well, because China actually maintained friendly relationship with both Thailand and Cambodia. China has close tie with both the Thai and Cambodian military. Um, and my hope is China, ASEAN can step in and help to mediate and to make sure that things are simmering down a little bit.
If we unpack how the prime minister's call got leaked, you're right. It is she's being undermined by local politics. It's been leaked from Thai authorities to the Thai people for an effect at Thai politics. So you're perfectly right. But how does this look like when a few days ago they say that there was a mine blast and both of the countries are blaming each other for the escalation. They say they started it first. They say they started it first.
Right. I mean, the Cambodian side blames the Thai military for positioning their troops inside disputed territory, and the Thai, of course, blame Cambodia for initiating by firing artillery shells inside at the Thai army position, and then the Thai actually they deployed their air force. They had their F-16s dropping bombs, and it's totally unnecessary. It was totally unnecessary. Like this for Southeast. This is the last thing that Southeast Asia needs is another war, and one thing the one reason I'm hopeful for China to step in and intervene is because if one thing China really hates is instability in its
In the
neighborhood.
region. Yeah.
Because for China's Belt and Road project, you need stability for a stable business environment, and so I think and how China and ASEAN their diplomatic effort usually works. They like to do it behind the scenes, on like away from the public eye, so they can have more uh, latitude to work their magic. So my hope is that happen quickly and just put a wrap on this because this is not necessary. It did happen before, but we can also see from the previous examples this is not going to lead like a wider conflict. We probably already seen the worst, which is artillery shell exchange and air force bombing, but along the border, but probably not more than that.
If we compare the might of both military armies, how do we see this? What does it look like?
I mean, Thailand is a much bigger country. It's a much bigger country, much bigger economy. Um, but it's this is but I don't think we're gonna see like a full blown war with full mobilization, because this is just a small, really, it's just a small border skirmish.
Mm.
In this case, like, I think we're not gonna see um, huge troop movement across in the border as such. So and the place we're talking about, talking about fighting over like
A
a
mountain
small
peak.
piece of land on top of a
Mm,
cliff, right?
mm,
So
mm,
it's not, we're not gonna see like epic battles. And besides, these are very fragile archaeological sites. So yeah, so I hope things calm down, and people can get back to the business of building infrastructure, improving people's life. I travel. I haven't been to Cambodia, but I traveled to Thailand in back in April before the hostility broke out, and it was. Bangkok is very nice. It's a very nice, now it's a very nice, clean city, much cleaner than
mm,
many American cities,
mm,
and so I think that's what the government should really be concentrating on their effort. Just continue to improve the living standards of the people, and provide them with the infrastructure and development. Um, like these like yeah, this type of conflict is really unnecessary.
mm.